Are we live? Am I live? Bonjour tout le monde. Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un ici pour me poser des questions? Bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour, bonjour. Alors, je vois rien du tout. Now, this is a live session at Learn French with Alexa. I am back from a long break on holiday. Est-ce que vous êtes allé en vacances? Did you take some holiday? Est-ce que vous êtes allé en vacances? Did you go somewhere on holiday? Anyway, moi, je suis allée en France. I went to France. Je suis allée en France. So, what I thought we would do, I would preposition, how to learn faster. And hello to you too, Renu. Bonjour. What is the question? Preposition, how to learn faster? I don't understand. Could you just reform your question so I can answer it as best as I can? Thank you. Now, during the last live hangout, bonjour Mia, bonjour, bonjour. During the live hangout, bonjour, bonjour tout le monde. I had many questions that I could not answer because I've got 30 minutes with you. I am going to try to answer as many questions as possible. And one question that I thought was very relevant, and it was from Coco from Albania. She asked about the recent past, okay, or present continuous. So she was not very clear about that. So I'm just going to introduce you of how to do the present continuous in French. Okay. Now, Fly, bonjour. Chair, bonjour. Def, Foxy, bonjour. Chair, Aswini, bonjour, bonjour. And so the best way to learn French, bonjour. The best way, you mean? Okay, bonjour. Je t'aime aussi. Je t'aime. Bonjour, bonjour. Okay, Def Foxy, fourth language, well done. I admire anybody who can speak more than one language. I tell you, I can speak two, French and English, and I wish I could speak more. Bonjour from Korea. Bonjour tout le monde. It is really good. Bonjour United States, les États-Unis. Bonjour tout le monde. Merci beaucoup, ma belle. Okay, so we are going to try answer. Please ask your questions. Now, in terms of prepositions, how to learn them faster, I'm going to start with the continuous, present continuous, because it's one questions that we had back in July that I really wanted to answer. Okay, could you use the present continuous as a future is the question from Coco Albania. So I'm going to make myself really small and hopefully someone will feed me some questions in a minute. So this is it. Can you see, sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this green thing. I can't do that. Don't know how to do that. Okay, so here we go. Present continuous. Do you know what a present continuous is in English? If English is not your first language, that may be a problem because it might not come naturally. For example, you could say he, okay, and I'm going to, okay, and let's use yellow. It's more friendly, yellow. Okay, so he is walking. Okay, so someone says, okay, can you use the present continuous as a near future? I would say, well, not really. So have a look at that. He is walking. Okay, that is known in English as a present continuous. And why is that? Because it has an ing and at the end, and we are using here the auxiliary verb to be in the present tense. So he's walking means that you are walking, he is walking at the moment. So it's continuous, it's happening right now. Okay, so it's starting and it's still working. I can see him, he is walking. Okay. But how do you do that in French? Well, in French it's very simple. Just use a present tense. We don't have such a thing as ing. By the way, guys, I have said that so many times. There is no ing in French. So if there is no ing, there is no auxiliary to be used with this in the continuous tense because there is no continuous tense in French. Okay, so the way you transform he is walking would be by he and then you take these walks. Okay, Okay, and then you need to translate that. So he is il and walks is marche. Okay, so the question was can you use this as a near future? Not really, because it will be il marche. He is walking. Okay, so it's an action that is happening right away. Okay. And like as I'm talking to you, he is walking. So we're using the simple present. As a matter of fact, présent simple, okay? Au présent de l'indicatif, it's the proper grammatical term, okay? If you wanted to use the near future, what do? So let me just go to another page. So we have il marche, and that means he is walking, okay? Il, and then the near future would be to use the verb to go in the present tense. So how do you say he is going to walk? Now again, is going does not exist, so the present tense of he goes is il va. Okay, can you see that? Sorry about the trying to get it there. Il va, he goes, okay, he goes, or he is going. But remember that we do not have such a thing as is going. So no ing, okay, and no is. So he goes. So il va, and then you use the infinitive marcher, okay. Il va marcher, okay, and that means he is going to walk, okay. And this is the way you would use the near future, okay. It's obviously not the future tense as we know it. He will walk, okay. We're not saying that, we are saying he is going to walk. So in case of any doubt, please use the verb to go, which is aller, okay, to use any verb as a future proche, okay, near future. So je vais, come on, repeat after me, je vais, well done. Tu vas, il va, okay, and then elle va, she goes. On va, one goes, and then nous allons. I always emphasize on the fact that you must learn this verb, okay, because it will help you conjugate in the near future. So vous allez, and then to finish, I'm going to write it here, guys. I'm sorry, I realize that there is not nous. Sorry, vous allez and ils vont. Okay, so learn this by heart. This is pretty much the verb aller in the present tense, and then add any verbs you want to that, so you create the near future. So you want to say I'm going to go, that's a possibility. Je vais aller. You're going to go, tu vas aller. He is going to go, and so on. Okay. Okay, so that's my question. Now, let's have a look at another question. Hopefully that helps answer the question. I'm sorry, it's so back in July, the question. Here's another question that Yana is sending me. She said, Yayi is asking, have you uploaded a video about plus que parfait tense? The answer is yes, I have. And this is part of my lesson on essentials. So if you go to my my YouTube channel, you will see that everything is put into playlists, okay? I have created 55 lessons from lesson 1 to the simple bonjour to lesson 55 that have, quite a level at that point. If you follow these lessons, and they are free, by the way, okay, and they're like gold dust. Okay, they're free. So if you follow them from lesson 1 to 55, you will acquire quite a good level. And obviously, if you wanted more support guides with it and everything, develop your reading and your listening exercise, obviously there is my channel. But if you don't have the money to buy the whole course, you can become a member. So there, I've plugged my channel in. Thank you for that. So, plus que parfait tenses, yes, it is something, okay, so it's known as a plus perfect. If someone asks me, but what is the plus que parfait? Okay, you have, for example, I'm going to take marcher as the main example again. Okay, marcher is to walk, okay. You want to use a present tense, so je marche, okay, that's the present, okay, are we clear about that? So I walk, okay. Now you want to say I have walked, so that's known as a passé composé. So I have, j'ai, and then past participle marché, okay. So we call that a passé composé, okay. It's an action that took place and is gone done over with. So the pluperfect would be the past of the past, okay. So we no longer want to say I have walked, but we want to say I had walked, okay. I had walked, okay. So in order to be able to do that, you need to know how to say this in the past tense. So this is avoir. J'ai is the present tense of avoir. But how do you say I had, which is the past tense of avoir, is j'avais. J'avais. J'avais marché. And then you add the past participle, and suddenly we have the pluperfect, okay? So basically the pluperfect is the past of the past, and all you need to know here is how to say the auxiliary that you're using. It can either be avoir or être, by the way, in the past tense. So I do want you to learn avoir and être in 3 different tenses. That's your homework, guys, okay? Do you know how to conjugate avoir and être in A, the present tense? So make a note of that, yeah? I want you to know avoir and être in the present tense. So I have is j'ai, I am is je suis. B, the past tense as in imperfect tense, okay? So imparfait we call it. So how do you say I was or I had, okay? That's it. That's what I want you to do. And in order, so you may say, well, why do you want me to learn that? Well, that's because it's dead important. You want to learn how to conjugate a verb in the passé composé, then you need to know how to say I have or how to say I am. These are called auxiliary verbs. They are really, really important. So please do that, okay? And learn how to say them in the present tense, so it will allow you to conjugate in the passé composé, and learn how to say them in the imperfect tense, so it will allow you to conjugate them in the pluperfect. So I hope that I've answered your question on the pluperfect there, okay? Yeah. Next question from Yana. She says, well, not from Yana. Yana is actually sending me the pictures, the questions. Renou avant-elle, Alexa, about preposition. Tomorrow is my exam. Okay, calm down. Now, what do you want to know, Renou? Okay. Let's have a look at simple prepositions, okay? Prepositions are such a thing as, okay, I'm going to draw a box, okay? Here's my box. That's not the best box, and this is my ball, okay? This is a basketball, okay? Can you see the ball here? Okay, now we want to say that the ball is on top here, okay? It's on top of that box. So the preposition you need is sur, okay? That's on top, sur, okay? Can you say that? Sur. So you would say, le ballon est sur la boîte. It's a box, la boîte, okay? Le ballon est sur la boîte. Très bien. Now you want to say underneath. So we want to say that this ball is underneath. Then this one is sous, sous. Le ballon est sous la boîte. Can you see that? Le ballon est sous la boîte. Très bien. Now you want to tell me, well, it is inside, and that's another preposition. Inside, le ballon est dans la boîte. Le ballon est dans la boîte. Okay, Renou, are you listening? I can see you've lost now. Okay. Okay. En and dans. Oh, Fahim, I can't answer this question quite yet. Okay. I'm just going to finish that. And you want to say next to. So let's say that it's actually here. Well, le ballon est à côté de la boîte, okay? Le ballon est à côté de la boîte. Of course, you've got so many other prepositions that I could, teach you, but I have done a video on prepositions, and it's called, I think, Prepositions. So if you go to my channel again, you will have a playlist, and within this you will have the essentials lessons from 1 to 55. Please have a look at prepositions, les prépositions. Okay. Now, Yoti Duora says, please explain the difference between vous and tu. Now, I'm going to go super fast on this one because I know that a lot of you know that anyways. Oops, sorry, I've lost my pen. Now, a lot of you know that anyway. The vous and tu is quite simple, is that it both mean you, okay? They both mean you, however, you would use tu when it's quite informal, okay? Vous when it's more formal, okay? So talking to people that you don't know very well. But also when you talk to a group of people, okay? So tu, informal, you use it when you talk to someone you know very well, a friend, a member of your family, your children, for example, and children in general. I mean, you meet a kid in the street and you want to say something, the chances that you're going to use tu and not vous. So, and you use vous when you talk to the queen. Now, when you talk to someone you don't know at all during work time, for example, you would use vous, most definitely, and you would use vous to a group of people, as in you there, please move, okay. What we are going to do, please have a look at lesson number 2 or 3 of my French Essential, refers to the difference between tu and vous, and I think I have actually done a video. Pretty certain I have. Again, it's all explained in there, so I won't go too much into it, okay? What I'm going to do now is answer another question, okay? Let's have a look. Yana, could you send me another question, please? Yeah, could you send me another one, please? Pronom demonstrative has been covered, and I think you referred to as se, or set or set. The reason why I don't want to do pronom demonstrative is that how to say this and that, we have done it, okay? So please refer back to how to deal with pronom demonstrative, because that was covered in the past as well. So I'm sorry if I'm not answering it, but please refer back to the video that I have done. I would like to answer questions that I have never covered, which would be quite lovely. Now, Tenzin P. Haltsang, j'ai appris ce matin le mot devoir, mais je ne sais pas laquelle différence de conditionnel et future prononciation. Donc, Tenzin, you have a pretty good French, and well done to you. Let's have a look at the verb devoir, okay? Devoir means to have to must. Please, everyone, learn this verb, okay? It means must. Okay, so if you wanted to say I must, you would say je dois. But equally, it means I have to, okay? I must, okay? Now, what Tenzin would like to know is the difference between the conditional. So I should, because we don't say I would must, okay? So we say I should. It is je devrais, okay? Je devrais. I should. Now, there is something that in English we have and in French we don't. Should and would and could do not exist in French. Okay, so you've got to transform this somehow. I'm going to cover that in 1 minute because I think it's important, actually. So, je devrais, I should, is a conditional. I should or I would have to, okay? Now, the pronunciation Tenzin of I will have to is exactly the same, okay? And it is je devrais. So one has an S, the conditional, the other one has a future, okay? Which is exactly the same pronunciation. It doesn't have an S, but it means I will, must, but we can't say that, so I will have to, okay? Je devrais, okay? So, je devrais faire mes devoirs. I should do my homework, for example. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Now, One Hope B says, any tips for learning irregular conjugations? Well, that's a very good question, one hobby, very good question, and I wish I could answer that so straight, but I can't. Now, what I could do is, do you know what I could do for you? Is I could put together somewhere. Do you know, I mean, I cover a lot of these irregular conjugations in my verb in 5 main sentences. So if you go onto the playlist and have a look at the the verbs, you would see that there is many verbs, irregular verbs that are conjugated in 5 main tenses. The only tip I can I can tell you, one hobby, is that when you conjugate a verb, make yourself aware about whether it is a first group, a second group, and a third group verb, okay? And if you are aware of where the verbs go, then whatever goes in the third group, learn the beginning by heart in the future tense and in the past participle. By this I mean, and again, this is a whole lesson that I could spend hours with, marcher. And I take marcher again, marcher, ER. Okay, we know that it's a first group verb, therefore it's going to be conjugated in really the marcher in the same way as any other verbs with ER, except for aller, which ends with ER but is not a first group, it's actually a third group because it doesn't follow the pattern. That's the only ER verb that does not follow the other ER verb pattern. Second group, they all end with IR, finir. Again, it's regular and it's has a certain pattern when you conjugate finir, okay? And third group is what you mean by irregular verbs, okay? Third group will be verbs such as devoir. Now, can you remember what devoir is? Yes, well done you. It is must or have to because we have literally just learnt it, okay? And when you want to learn a verb such as devoir, for example, well, you've got to tell yourself, I'm going to put devoir into my list, and you should have a list of third group verbs, okay? And then write the beginning of the present tense, je dois, okay? Then the passé composé, j'ai dû, okay? Then the future, je devrais, okay? Je devrais. And here you've got, and that's why it's so irregular. Look at the verb must, to must or to have to. It doesn't look anything like doit, do or devrait, does it? And this is where the problem is. It's why you need to learn the third group regular. So what I would say, take the main third group verbs, put them into a column. What does it look like in the present tense? What does it look like in the passé composé? What does it look like in the future tense? And there you will have the stem of the words, okay? So I take devoir as an example because we have just learned it. But for example, a verb such as prendre, okay? To take, okay? Prendre, to take, will have these funny patterns as well because it's irregular. You put prendre on a piece of paper, on your computer, wherever you want, you know, and then you do your little chart, okay? What does it look like in the present tenses? Je prends, okay? Quite simply. What does it look like in the passé composé, as in we want to say I have taken. So what does taken looks like? J'ai pris. Okay, so look how there is no pattern here. And what does it look like? I'm going to get rid of that so you're not confused. Okay. And what does it look like in the future tense? And what is the stem? Je prendrai. So the stem is that. Okay, so make a list, okay, of the main verbs that are irregular. How do I know they're irregular? Because in their infinitive form, they're not going to end with ER and not probable that they will end with IR, though we have some verbs with IR that belongs to the third group verb. I wish it was simpler. I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible in 30 minutes, and that's why I'm talking so fast. Now, Madame Nilam says, Madam, can you... Okay, oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. Jessica Nutong Les mots dégoûtant et dégueulasse, please say, oh my gosh, Jessica, please do not say the word dégueulasse unless you know the person really well and they will not be offended. Dégueulasse is a slang word. You would know dégoûtant is the polite word of dégueulasse. So dégoûtant means disgusting and dégueulasse means disgusting as well, by the way. I write it... you sure that's a right spelling? I'm not sure. So dégoûtant, not sure of the spelling. If I had my co-writer, she would tell me. Means disgusting. And dégueulasse, I'm not sure how to spell it either. Okay, means disgusting, but it's a bad word. Don't use it. Yeah, don't use it. It's not a great word. Okay, so okay, so Madam, can you tell me that where should use inversion form and where not? Okay, this is we've got only 3 minutes we've got 3 minutes to go, so I don't want to develop into too much because I want to be able to answer a question really quickly. For example, I can see one, I'm sorry, I think it's a Russian name. Bonjour, there is a difference between j'essaie and j'essaie. Do you know what? This is the last, I think last week we posted a video called Essayer in 5 different tenses. Please have a look at it. And no, there is no difference between j'essaie and j'essaie, which means I try. So I write it down here because it's a very relevant question that I can answer in 2 minutes. J'essaie and j'essaie both mean I try, okay, and it's the difference in pronunciation. So j'essaie and j'essaie, okay. And please have a look at my latest video, Essayer in 5 different tenses, okay, and that is it. Okay, so we may do some other types of live streams maybe. Okay, this is what's going to happen, guys. We are going to do more of these live streams, okay? Please keep coming back. Bonjour, Australian. Please keep coming back to me, and I will endeavor to have a regular, as in hopefully weekly live hangouts like that. And what we could do is different types of live streams, maybe a translation exercise instead of Q&As, okay? So that you get to learn something. I know that all of you may be of different levels because you come from all over the world, and I don't know what your level is in French. Bonjour, Philippine. Okay. Now, did you know that you can sponsor me for $5 a month? I think it was it $5. Adam is here in the studio. Yes. And if you sponsor me, you get to have the proper lessons that I'm about to do. At 12 o'clock, I have people that are going to have a lesson. We are going to study a translation exercise text, which we are going to translate from English to French. Yeah, 500,000 subscribers. Woo! It's not bad for a French middle-aged woman. Woo! Okay, so quite chuffed with that. So please encourage other people to join us so we can reach 1 million by the end of the year. Well, that will be hard, but just in case, you know, I'm quite happy with 500,000. Be happier with 1 million. Anyway, Tarun, articles, I have done everything on articles. Please have a look at my playlist on my channel. If you type definite or indefinite articles, you will have all the, you know, the explanations of what they are. Oh, down under. Yes, thank you so much. I am not young. I'm probably old as being, you know, I could be your mama, I'm sure. Now, could be the mother of each one of you. Okay, any book recommendations? At the moment, Anko, this is a question I can answer for another live hangout. And thank you so very much. I'm going to stop now. Okay. And I will think about the question, what is the best book for A2? And where do you live? Okay, I live in London. Londres. Ooh, okay. That's it for me. And lots of love to you all, okay? Bonne continuation. Please come back. I will be back live every week. Okay, it's so good to see you. Au revoir, à bientôt. Bisous, bisous. Salut!